Today, I will explain the movie Shape-Shifting Boy into a Sexy Female After Death, the movie name, Goodbye Charlie, a body swap, sex movie. 99% of people watched my video but did not subscribe to my channel. Please support me because one movie takes one day to complete. This is very hard work. Okay, sit back and relax. At the beginning of the movie we see that floundering Hollywood writer Charlie Sorrell is shot and killed by Hungarian film producer Sir Leopold Sartori when he is caught fooling around with Label's wife Rusty, Charlie's best and only friend. Novelist George Tracy arrives at Charlie's Malibu beach house for the memorial service. After an exhausting series of flights from Paris that have left him broke, there were only 3 people there: Charlie's agent and 2 ex-girlfriends. George does his best to eulogize his friend, but there is little to be said in favor of Charlie. His final bad joke on George is making him executor of his estate, which is a mess of deaths and unpaid taxes. Soon after the guests leave, and exhausted, George is awakened by a knock at the terrace store, and the appearance of Bruce Minton III, assisting a petite blonde woman covered in a huge brown overcoat. Bruce came to her aid when he found her dazed and wandering on the road completely naked. She does not remember much, but she recognized Charlie's house as they drove past it and it made her feel safe. Bruce rushes off to a dinner engagement, leaving a sleep-deprived George to cope with the delirious woman. The next morning, George awakes to her screams. It all comes back to her. She is Charlie reincarnated as a woman. After getting over the shock, she convinces George of her identity by telling him about a dirty trick that she had recently played on him as a man. George realizes that this must be a case of karmic retribution for all the women Charlie has used and betrayed. All manner of complications arise as Charlie decides to take advantage of the situation. George helps her by establishing her as Charlie's widow, figuring out their finances and boosting her morale. From the beginning, Charlie finds herself subject to a whole new set of emotions and sensations. Her masculine mannerisms begin to fade, partly because Charlie is a consummate actor, but also because the change is more than skin deep. At one point, she bursts into uncontrollable tears. George comforts her as he would comfort a weeping girl, wiping her tears and stroking her hair to calm her down, and then pulls back, disturbed at the tenderness. Although Charlie has changed her gender, she is unable to change her ways. She decides to solve her money problems by using her intimate knowledge for blackmail and by marrying Bruce for Minnie. The plans fall apart when Bruce, on the verge of passing out, reveals the depth of his love for her. Charlie takes pity on him and slips the engagement ring into his hand. Eventually, in a criminal reversal that she recognizes all too well when it happens, Charlie ends up being chased around the house by Leibold, who cheerfully spouts amorous nonsense, but is in fact intent on taking advantage of her. Rusty arrives, gun in hand, and just as Charlie climbs onto the terrace railing to jump, Rusty shoots her. She plunges into the ocean below. George, who has arrived in the midst of the melee, leaks after Charlie, but there is no sign of a body. After lecturing the Sardus for their actions, George orders them to leave and never tell anyone about it. The couple reconcile and Leopold promises eternal gratitude to George. George is asleep in a chair. The sound of a woman's voice calling Charlie over and over again wakes him. This time there are 2 beings on the terrace, a woman and her Great Dane Charlie. George quickly establishes her bona fides as a real person, Virginia Mason. She takes one look at him and decides he needs food. She commands Charlie to sit and stay. Virginia and George talk in the kitchen. It is clearly love at first sight. The dog goes into the living room, to the bookcase, to Charlie's secret cache of vodka. Behind a worn piece, the bottle falls and breaks. Charlie laps a bit from the floor and, looking heavenward, begins to how this movie end here. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.